This exercise is a very popular exercise for junior programmers. So we have this function show stars with a parameter called rows. So when we call this function and pass 5, see what we get on the console. We get 5 rows. In each row we have a star, and the number of stars in that row depends on the row we are in. So in the first row we have 1 star, in the second row we have 2 stars, and so on. If we call this function, pass 1, we get only a single star. If we pass 2, we get 2 rows. If we pass 10, you got the point. So go ahead and spend 5 to 10 minutes on this exercise. When you're done, come back, continue watching. All right, here we need to start with a for loop. So for let row, we set this to 1. As long as row is less than or equal to the number of rows, we want to increment row. Now in each row, depending on the number of row, we need to display 1 or more stars. So here I'm going to declare a variable. Let's call it pattern. We set it to an empty string. Now depending on the value of the row, we need to add 1 or more stars to this pattern. So here we need another for loop for let, let's call this I. We set it to 0. As long as I is less than row, we increment I. And here we add a star to the pattern. So plus equals star. So if you're on row 5, this loop will execute 5 times because we started from 0. And we run this while I is less than row. So this will execute 5 times, and each time we'll append 1 star to our empty string. So we'll end up with 5 stars. And finally, when we're done with this loop, we do a console.log of pattern. That's all we have to do. Now on the top, I'm going to change this to 5, save the changes. The algorithm works beautiful. If you pass 1, we get 1 star. If we pass 2, we get 2 stars. So what we have here is what we call a nested loop. So we have a loop inside of another loop. And you may see this pattern in a lot of algorithms.